What's going on YouTube? Unfortunately, I'm not hiding. I just kind of just got out the bath, but I was reading something and I wanted to share it with you guys. I was on Cerebral Diva, um, blogspot.com. Not to attack Cerebral Diva, but I'm actually just became a fan of Sidney Starr's. And I would say fan because the queen is not too many fans of too many people. But I was checking out this chick's radio show and I was reading your blog. And on October the 5th, you wrote an article basically saying Sidney Starr needs a media coach. I'm going to read a little bit of the article because I want you to understand, that was an opinion. And I don't agree with you being another transgendered woman, being that this chick was actually holding her own and she was speaking very diligently and very clearly and giving a lot of respect to the community. And she also was giving a lot of uplifting advice to let people know do not be afraid of who you are. But we're going to get into that. But you wrote, I'm sorry, but I was rooting for her. But after hearing this interview, she needs to have her ass in school somewhere. I hate to throw her under the bus, but I have to call it like I see it. As a transgendered woman, this is not how I want to be represented. My mother used to always tell me sometimes it's better to be silent and thought of as a fool than to speak up and remove all doubt. Clearly, Sidney could have benefited from this sage advice. This girl has it all wrong, and if she's not careful, the interview is bluntly and disrespecting her, and she has no clue. He called her he and used male pronouns on few occasions, and Sidney, blinded by her own narcissistence, didn't even bat an eyelash. Not only that, she's completely shallow and superficial. I feel like she's doing a disservice to the transsexuals everywhere. Well, I don't agree that she's doing a disservice. Number one, he did say he and bro and man to man, but however, she disregarded all of that because her point was being very precise and very direct. She wasn't going to allow an ignorant, belligerent media to make her look as an individual that she has to feel attacked every time somebody say he. That was her opinion. She was very comfortable saying that she was a transgendered woman, and she was very comfortable clearing up the rumors that most people, should I say, stereotyped, put out there for society to gloom at us about. They're going to always look at us as the negative. They're going to always look at us as the hater. Not once did she get up there and constantly talks about her penis, but she made it very clear, obvious that the person that she was dating, that she was okay with explaining to them had they asked. Far as just chilling with somebody, hanging with somebody, she don't have to tell everybody that she's a transsexual. That's not the point. We don't walk around with labels and stereotypes over top of our heads. Because if that's the case, then you ain't gonna walk outside with somebody that got a crack over their head and talk to them, or somebody say I'm infected with the boils. We're not bound by labels. We're bound by how we conduct ourselves in society. And I think she actually did the transgender community a credit. She was very open about who she is. She's very passable. So therefore, society's going to think the first thing obvious that she's a woman regardless, because no one walks around naked to see their genitalia. But however, I live my life the same way this chick lives her life. I don't walk around with a skag tag basically telling who I am because it's no one's business. And she even stated that before she gets detailed intimately with a person, she addresses that situation. And most people look at her and they're okay with that. We all know that most men think, physiology more than mentally. So off the back, you would look at her and be like, damn, shorty hot. You know what I'm saying? She got a nice face, nice personality, sweet little voice. So of course most men would have jumped in her, even if they see a dick hanging between her legs. So I must say, and this is to you, Sidney Starr, as well, the best of heaven's world, I applaud you. I think you are great. I think you're excellent. I think you're going to be a great dancer. I can see you on TV. And I want to thank you for being very comfortable with yourself and also supporting the community, because you could have just shung it and paid it and make it very clear. Like you said, you're not blasting anybody because you didn't want to put any names out there. And you even said if it come down to a book offer that you don't want to get that personal with your life because you don't believe people deserve that and you don't want to carry that type of title. So out of all due respect, I say hats off to you and thank you, my sister. I think you conducted yourself in a brilliant, beautiful way. And I applaud you, and I'm now a fan.